Perfect. Okay, so today we're going to learn all about our buyer presentation. Does anybody here currently have a buyer presentation that they'd like to share? And then we can discuss it, and then I can show you mine, and we can go through all the process. Beth, I saw you raised your hand, or Barbara, is it? Anybody except Beth Barbara? Do we have somebody that has a listing present or a buyer presentation they want to show?
Karen just finished one.
Karen?
No, mine is still not together.
There's no judgment here. This is just going through it so it can be helpful to show edits that may need to be happen and help you with it.
Look, no.
I'll show mine, but if I can find it, let me find
I
it.
have
real quick.
one.
Okay, there you go. She's got one.
I have one, but it's not. I mean,
It's okay. We're here to learn. This is a learning experience.
so this is from Command because
Mhm.
I had a buyer's presentation before, but I'm trying to, adopt Command.
Before you go through, I have a couple questions that I want answers to first. How long is it?
Um, like 10, 12 pages.
Okay.
I could shorten it though.
There you go. Okay.
Definitely, I can shorten it. I did make I did print it out as well in a smaller form where it's only 3 to 4 pages, but it's front and back. But I printed this one out so that I can share all the pages in case I have a client that I need to include that other information. Does that make sense?
Completely.
Okay.
Second question. Is your DRE on the front page?
Yes.
Perfect. Third question. Is there a page that details your bio, your contact information, and why they should work with you? Not in paragraphs, in almost literal bullet points. Perfect. I love it.
There's that one. And then I have the bio in here as well.
Okay.
Sorry, my dog's just very
Reason I ask, I'm sure all of us can agree. If somebody comes to you and hands you a pamphlet or booklet and it's like this thick with lots of words, what are we going to do?
use it for
Throw it out.
firewood.
Space out and not even care. So we have to be very intentional because we want to grab attention, we want to control the conversation, and we want to be very specific with what we're referring to and speaking about, not in generalities, in very specific terms.
Yes.
Go, Sandy.
Go what?
Oh, present.
Oh,
Show us
okay.
your presentation. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, you want me to, okay. So my page 1, is that where we're at? This is,
Give us the page and tell us why you put it, why you designed it the way you designed it.
okay. So, and again, this is my draft, right? I'm still working on it, but this is the Keller Williams, Your Guide to Home Ownership, everything you need to know about buying a home. My name, my DRE number, and I let the client know that it's a custom consultation prepared for them with, again, my information. Can you guys see all that?
Right there's great.
Okay, and then letting them know that their needs come first, and again, this is all from Command. So their needs come first, and it lists what's important to them. How can I make visualize your dream? It's pretty standard on there, and I'm working on fine tuning it. But here we have my app. How to get to my app. It has never been simpler. It guides, search, neighborhoods, collections, and then my app info down here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have building your preference profile. So the basics. Have you considered who your main contact will be? What timeline would you like to strive for? What is your favorite way to receive information? What's the best time to call? And and the one I'm working on has kind of combined this one and another page into one. Because I think I can, I can cut it down. So I'm working on that. And then also with the home wish list, what their needs and wants are, like, you know, year that it was built, bedrooms, bathrooms, floor plans, so on and so forth. Okay. And then my promise to you is, I think, is really important, because to serve my clients as a leader in the real estate industry, as a friend, to always do the right thing, even if it isn't what is easiest, to be professional, honest, and communicative with you every step of the way through the process and beyond. And then it goes on, and that's a standard page in Command. I think it's amazing.
Yep, it's part of the templates.
Yeah. The bottom line, and it talks about real estate is complicated. That's where I come in as an agent. At the closing table, my goal is for you to feel that purchase of your home exceeded all of your expectations. And again, it's a standard form in Command. And then how to get in touch with me, with all my app, my email, my website, my office. So everything is right there. So this one I have as a backup, but again, I'm working on another one, and it's a little more involved, where it talks about, you know, Keller Williams, and talks about myself with the bio. Because this one I don't have a bio in, and I think that's really important. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Great.
That's where I'm at right now.
So all that is fantastic. All of that is great. There's no right or wrong answer. But what our purpose for today is to make sure that by next week, everybody has a buyer presentation. Do we all know where we can find them within Command?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have one
Awesome.
already. I'm gonna look at finish it in Command, do the Command one. This one I've had for a while. It is a Keller Williams one. So, you know, I just had a few questions.
Questions
What do you
regarding?
think?
Just some add-ons and things that I had. I'm gonna put those together, some questions like getting details of the kind of house that they're looking for. I got that from the team I used to work on, and asking questions like if they're interested in a cul-de-sac and a single story, those kinds of questions to help me with it. So I can remember all those questions too. You know, that's part of it. Okay.
Karen, did you have to say something? Did you need to say
Well,
something?
I was just gonna say, I feel like you almost you need two buyer presentations. I think one for people that don't know you, and most of us, you know, we're working with people within our sphere as well. So I think you need another for those people that already know you. They don't really care about your bio. They already trust you. And it's going more into the details of the process. So for example, I tried to get through one with a good friend of mine, and she was like, yeah. Well, you already covered all that. But what I found with what we really needed to touch on is the EMD. Do you have that? Do you have it in your account? Okay, what monies are you going to need up front? And kind of just the process overall. And I don't think I would have necessarily hit those points if I wouldn't have talked to Beth beforehand and, you know, kind of ask her about what she does.
Right.
No, I did. I probably will put together two.
Gotcha. And like I said, there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer, because every single one of us is running our own business, and we are going to approach our clients the way that best suits us and how we know them, because that's, well, it's a people business. The rest of it doesn't matter if you don't have the people, because the people are the ones that are buying and selling. And without
Right.
them, we're doing nothing. So, in that vein, I'm going, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so if I could show you my rough draft, I mean, my draft that I'm creating, this is a little more detailed. It talks about myself, And it includes Keller Williams and our goal as a company. And then, getting to know your real estate agent. You can see all my markings here.
Yeah,
I'm working on.
looks great.
And
Oh,
then
How many pages is that one?
financing tips.
But how many pages is it?
Oh, this one is only 7.
Okay, now is that 7 front and back or 7 total?
7 total.
And Karen, how
It's
many
like
pages is yours?
a mini buyer's presentation, so to speak, because my thinking is I want to get their attention. I want them to call me and ask me for more information. I just want to give them little carrots to make them want to call me and ask me for more. So I think that's really important. And then it just goes through the initial process of home buying, the steps that it takes and what they can expect. So, and then I also have like recommendations for lenders and also resources. So I'm working on filling in my vendor list, right? Because we talk about that. So yeah, I think those little tidbits can help draw in clients and ask and get them to call you, therefore giving you an opportunity to ask them more questions. And so that's my thing.
Thank you, Sandy. And Karen, how many pages is yours?
21.
Seriously?
I know there's a lot that I need to, so I have one that's 7 and then one that's 21. But my templated one.
Your keyword for next week for yours is distillation. Put it down,
Right.
make it
10
manageable.
to 11, maybe. Yeah.
Yes. Steve, go ahead.
Okay, everything I'm about to say, I'm open to 100% criticism, comments, positive, negative, so forth and so on. I personally hated the process within Command. I personally thought there was way too many pages. I thought it was a little bit clunky, kind of building things and so forth, okay? In my corporate job, which deals a lot with communications with customers, and I am historically not very good at this, if you ask my wife. Get to the point. She tells that to me all the time. So I'll tell her a story, all the details. I'm a technology guy like you, Arthur. I want to give every last little bit. And she's like, what's your point? Honestly, even Michele did that with me out of the Stockton office when we first talked about me joining. She said, Steve, that's all great information. What do you need from me? Okay. So
Michelle is a bullet point kind of person.
yep. So my presentation is 2 pages. I would like it to be 3 once I have some accomplishments to put on my bio, because right now I don't. Okay, so I lifted this completely from the internet.
Lifted, I love it.
And I'm happy to share it.
Stole it, Steve. Admit
Please.
it.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me open sharing.
Okay,
Give me
thank
one
you.
second. All right, go ahead.
All right, let me close out of this and let me try again. It still says host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Let me check again.
At the bottom, does it say share screen?
Yeah, that's where I'm clicking and that's where it's.
Okay.
There we go. I fixed it.
Okay. All right, so let me share this and let me go here, okay? 2 pages PDF. This is not for anyone in particular. This is it. So everybody would get this. And like I say, I'm open completely to this is not the way to do it, and I'm open completely to this is the way to do it, or anything in between. So
Okay, so we're gonna hold that right there, and
Okay.
then I'm gonna show you mine.
Okay. So
Wait,
again,
can you
it's
scroll
You
down?
go down, yeah, go
Yeah,
down
scroll
through
down.
what you have.
it's 7
Now let us
steps.
see it.
I'm not going to read through everything. I'm just going to read the headers.
You
Mhm.
just, we can read it if you want, just scroll down and let us see
Okay.
it.
Yep, buying consultation, loan pre-approval, searching for a home, viewing, pricing, offer, transaction. That's it.
And that is completely great. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Perfect.
Now, let's do wrong share.
Steve, where does it talk about you though and your value?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Right now, I don't have a lot of value.
But no, you do.
What you talked
do.
about.
Actually, you do because you have Keller Williams to back you up. So you
Of course.
can use that to you know, toot your own horn, basically.
And also previous experience, your previous work experience.
Exactly.
Sure. So I could go back and make it 3 pages, add a little bit about me. And honestly, we're going to use the term lift again. I'm going to lift a lot of information directly from the Keller provided website in relation to the benefit of working with Keller Williams. And then of course, I'll add in about me, 25 years or 20 years technology experience, blah, blah, blah. So
You're entitled to that because you work for Keller Williams, so you can use
Sure.
that.
Sure.
that data. Right, Arthur?
Yes, absolutely. Can we see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So thank you for joining us, Danny. I've been talking to them about their presentations, and we've looked at a few of them. There's a couple that need to be distilled. There's one that needs a little bit more information. So I'm going to provide mine and showcase. Not that mine is the end-all bee's knees and should be followed 100%.
Guide.
However, it is a guide, and it is a version of what a presentation can look like. But as we all know, I am me and everybody else is themselves. And so each one is going to be different. It does not have to reflect mine specifically. So page 1 talks about this is the home buyer guide. This is what I have a bunch of them printed up. They're all in my office, and they are the kind that you print up at Office Depot, and they have the staples. Mine is 7 pages long. That's it.
7.
Mm-hmm. So as we can see, I have beautiful imagery up front, Keller Williams on the left, bottom, and then my first name, last name, and license number on the bottom bottom right.
We can't see the bottom, Arthur.
Yeah, I can't see it either.
Oh, do I? I
I
thought I
can.
had it
See it?
full screen.
I can. I can see it.
I
It's
can
just
see
in
it.
white, guys. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah,
Way down here.
yeah, it's there.
Hi, Danny.
Okay.
Very
I can see
clean.
it.
Very
Okay,
clean,
cool.
Arthur.
Yeah. it
I
looks
used
really
that
nice.
when I probably copied it from you, Arthur.
And that's totally fine. It's okay. I don't own the copyright on it. Great, go ahead. Just don't use my language verbatim.
No,
Yeah.
I said that's the one that I used, I think, from when you shared before.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So then page 2. Well, maybe if I can go there. There we go. Page 2. In my experience, for me, my presentation, what I want to create as my brand experience is the image, the professional look. The words and all the other stuff, that is secondary. Yes, it does matter, but this is just my way of talking about me and what I do. I'm not going to read through it. I can share this. Everybody can read it if they'd like to. I'll leave it up there for a moment. But it's just presenting the way, to me, this is similar to how I present myself in life as a person.
Okay.
Ooh, I like that, Arthur.
It's true. Next page is all about definitely me still. This is more about how I'm going to help turn their dreams into reality, as it says. And then definitely a little bit more in depth about me, what I do and who I am as a person, how I got to become a realtor, and how I'm using my life experience to enable each client to find their dream home and help them connect and make that happen.
Arthur, if you're looking to make their dreams into reality, you have a typo.
Oh, probably. That's why I don't use this with people. This is just test.
There you go. Okay. I'm the
Thank
guy
you.
that catches those things.
But thank you very much. Where is the typo? I need to fix it. Gateway.
Real-
Oh, there you go.
You've got realty.
Well, maybe it wasn't reality. Maybe I was thinking realty. I don't know. I created
It's
this.
actually
one.
kind of actually I like that. It's kind of catchy.
I
Yeah.
do too.
I'm going to say I failed forward on that one.
I kind of like it.
Kind of like a text script where you're supposed to misspell a word,
See, I was just failing forward. That's how I work.
right?
Okay, so and then the next page, this is where I detailed the home buying process from start to finish, and within each process the things that can sometimes but don't always happen. So first, of course, as we talked about in script, you're picking a realtor. Me, yay. Then you're obtaining the financial pre-approval, because if they're not pre-approved, we don't want none unless you got pre-approval funds. Third thing is analyzing your needs for the buyer consultation. So what is it that you're looking for? What can you afford? How can I make this happen for you? Selecting the properties, viewing the properties. Then when there's one selected, what do? We write that offer. Then we negotiate terms and accept or counter a contract. Then you can conduct inspections, remove any, issues, conduct the title search, remove any encumbrances, obtain title insurance, and this is the place where if you're going to remove contingencies, they would be removed. Then you move into obtaining funds for closing the property, and taking possession of the home finally. Danny, is there anything in there that I might have missed or put in the wrong location?
Honestly, I'm still at the office.
Oh. Okay, never mind. So we're going to move on to the next page.
I have my eyeglasses. I don't know how I'm going to drive home, but
Do you
And Arthur,
get you?
this is all built through Command?
This one? No. This is one of the templates that was from Michael Lewis Marketing Suite that I just customized.
Okay.
And the next page talks about what happens in each stage. Wait, I missed a page. I went too far. There we go. Breaking down the process of getting pre-approved, your needs analysis. So it's taking the graphic from the before and breaking it down into bullet points with quick details. And at this point, if I were actually in front of someone presenting, I would have them looking at it, and then I would be physically talking and expounding upon each of these bullet points, answering their questions, and having complete control of the conversation. Not that I don't want them to speak, but I need them to follow along and hear that I am the knowledgeable person and I'm speaking to what I know is there, not reading directly from it and being like a machine. So that's just working on the presentation piece to know what you're talking about, because as we're realtors, we are the trusted source, and realtors don't fumble with what they need to say. That's what script practice is for, so that when you get in front of a person, you know exactly what you're talking about. You can still utilize, go ahead, Danny.
oh no, I was just going to say, so was this whole thing completed at a Michael Lewis, or did you mix up between Command and Michael Lewis?
I pulled the template and then I customized it for the way I wanted it to look. So I removed pages, I moved things around, I adjusted it to fit the way I wanted it to look.
But none of this was built out of Command. This one in particular was Michael Lewis.
Correct. So it's a PPTX, which means I edited it in PowerPoint. Or if you're a Mac person on, I forget the name of it, but it's the same thing, but for Apple.
Got it.
And then this one, contract to close, it's just finishing it up and giving details on the graphic from 2 pages ago. Last page is thank you about me, because they don't want to just read through it. So a 21 pager is going to be too long. A 2-pager might need a little bit more information, but this is just maybe kind of the ideal would be a 7 to 10 pager. That way it's not too much for them to ingest on their own, and you can credibly speak to all the information and answer any questions that they might have during that process.
I think it's great. I'm just going to piggyback a lot on what Arthur's saying, that the most thing that you want to take away from this is the fact that a buyer presentation is not handing them a pamphlet and saying, here, do the work, right? just read about the process. The whole thing is really, it's a guide, but you are there to be the trusted advisor and the expert, the knowledgeable one. So you're the driver. And I always tell everybody, hey, this is your story. I'm just your guide in your story, right? Because when you have the buyer presentation, you don't want to sit there and go through this with them. You actually just kind of want to talk about the whole home buying process. The whole point of a buyer's presentation is to get them into the office, get them to know you, like you, and trust you, and sign that buyer broker agreement, right? And then have them walk away with your buyer presentation. So this isn't something that you're just going to hand out to Joe Schmo and everything like that. It's something that you're giving when you meet with your clients and you've done the presentation and they're walking away with it. So don't get it all, don't make it difficult. Don't make it overloading, because they're not going to read it. They want to hear verbally from you, and they want to see where your knowledge is coming from. So the whole presentation should really be mostly of having that there as like a roadmap.
A recap.
Right? Yeah, it's a road wrap and it's a recap, but they are there to meet you and get to know you and trust you. And by the end of that consultation, you want to have proven enough to where they signed that buyer broker agreement. And that's the main thing. So 7 to 10 pages, no more than that. I mean, just keep it simple. Kiss it.
Distillation is the word. All right. Does anyone have any questions in regards to where they can find these types of templates, how they would edit them, and or question time, Q&A?
Well, I heard Command and I heard Michael Lewis Marketing Suite.
Yes,
Correct?
ma'am, you are correct.
Okay.
And
This,
if you've already received your cheat sheet, then you have all of the usernames and passwords to gain access to those locations.
I do.
And what do you recommend, Commander Michael Lewis?
That is dependent upon what you want to present, because there's more than one way to get to the end goal. It's simply a matter of what works for you, what's going to be presentation that matches who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically liked, sorry, Sandy, I'll get right back to you.
Yeah.
I specifically liked the one from MLMS which is Michael Lewis Marketing System, because I felt it was better for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's lots of them in Command. There's lots of them in Michael Lewis Marketing. There's lots of them on the internet that you can find for free. The entire point of it is you customize it for you and what fits your needs, but don't have fluff. It just needs to be the nuts and bolts. Think of it as the framework.
Mm-hmm.
Does Scott Leroy have them as well?
No, Michael Lewis Marketing Suite.
Okay, thank you.
Sandy, go ahead.
I suggest starting with Command, because yes, the Command one is pretty lengthy, but because it's lengthy, it allows you to look at all aspects of what you want to use for your presentation, and you can take the parts that you want and create your own. And then when you've got the foundation of your buyer's presentation, if you want to venture out, to other Michael Lewis or whatever it is to add or subtract, then do that. But the first time, I think it's important to go through Command, because it shows you everything you could possibly need, and then you can pick and choose what's important to you.
This is true. But with that being said, we definitely don't overthink it. Because if you try to put so much effort into it, I mean, this is literally something that people are going to get and they may never ever look at again. So the bigger picture of this is like we've said, the roadmap, the framework for them to follow along with what you're going to be speaking and saying. This isn't for you. This isn't for everybody, like Danny said. This is going to be specific to that people. So you may already know them. They may not even care to look at it. So don't put as much effort into it and overthinking it that is going to make it complicated and hard. This is truly something super simple. It is very straightforward. It's talking about you, the business, how you're going to help them, and then the rest of it is you speaking and having that personal relationship with them.
Right, but I guess I'm thinking about new agents that don't know what they don't know. You know, they don't know what to present in their buyer's presentation. Therefore, command allows them to expand and gives them knowledge and things to think about. So not saying it all 32 pages of command needs to happen. Of course, you want to streamline that down to what Danny said, 7 to, no more than 10. But I think it helps open your mind to what options there are there. Not that you want to use them all, but you don't know what you don't know when you start.
Definitely fair. Danny?
I'm going to keep it real simple, especially for new agents, right? This is what you need in it. An introduction of who you are and the service you provide. If you're in touch with your community, you should have that on your bio, your introduction, and then literally the home buying process. That's it. That is it. And if you keep it that simple, then everything else will just be in the presentation. Keep in mind, guys, that pamphlet is not your presentation, right? I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest with you guys. I kill it in my buyer presentations that 97% of my clients sign a buyer broker agreement, and I don't have a pamphlet. I don't even go over a pamphlet.
You're going over the contract with them to sign it.
Going over the contract, and I'm going over the home buying process. So when I say that this presentation as new agents, the main thing you need to focus on is keeping it so simple. Introduction of yourself, home buying process, and closing with the services and your promise of how you are going to serve them. And whatever you put in your buyer presentation, you better do it all. And I'm going to tell you that right now, because if you put in there, hey, if you're ever looking to buy and sell, and then you say that you're going to help stage or for photography or anything like that or anything, you better do it. And I know we're talking about the buyer side, but it's a perfect example that if you're doing a listing presentation and you say that you take the template and the template say staging, photography, professional photography, then you better do it, right? So be choosy on the services that you're providing. Like in my listing, I don't put staging because I don't do it to every single client, and I don't tailor my listing presentation. I make it simple, and that's what I was working on was here's a picture of their home, here's some comparables, here's the services I provide.
And that's my point. You have the command. It shows you all the options. You're going to pick and choose what you know you can do. Take it from there and streamline it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Command is very overwhelming. And I will say that because that's what made me go up. Whoa.
And overwhelming them too.
It is a bit overwhelming. 39 pages is overwhelming. Yeah. So, stop and think about who you are and the home buying process, and what you don't know in the home buying process. That's okay. That's what us success coaches are here for, to help you with. And when you do your buyer presentation, you need to be sending them to your success coaches so we can actually look them over, right? And go through them. So, heads up, guys, if you don't have a buyer presentation, get on the stick, get one done, because I am putting together a buyer workshop in this month. And in order to do it, it's going to be in person. I cannot do a workshop via Zoom. So it's going to be here in Manteca. There's going to be plenty of space. So if anybody is concerned with space, that's okay. We have plenty of space. And it's literally going to be a workshop where I am going to be coaching you on how to deliver a successful buyer presentation. Absolutely. But you need a presentation in order to get in the workshop.
Yep. Kathy, did you have a question, Kathy?
I just wanted to share something that I was taught, and this is how I get my buyers at open houses, is I have, and I can share this on my screen, a one page where it shows you the whole buying process. And then when I hand that to them, I'll tell them during our buyers consultation, I'll go over all these steps with you after we find out what you're looking for and your time frame. So then I can share it if you can give me the
Oh,
share.
yeah, it's still open.
Okay.
Yeah, Robert had
Um,
shared one also, and his looked really great too. I liked it. But keep in mind, guys, you
Can
don't
you
want to
see
give
that?
too much information at open houses. You
Well,
want to
that's-
set the appointments.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
would be
this-
great for the appointment.
Yes, we can
You
see
guys
it,
can see
Kathy.
that, is that correct? Yeah, because it's something that was given to me, and what I was told was this looks like you know what you're doing, because a lot of people will say, well, I didn't know you had to go through all this, and I said, well, I'll go over everything, explain it to you. Don't worry about it. I know how to do all these things. I'm going to bring you through all these steps, and I explain it to you as you go through.
Can you roll that up a little bit, please?
Let's see.
Change your
Just
viewing
down
option.
at the bottom.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, can you see it better?
Hit the
Yeah.
plus.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah,
There we
there you
go.
go.
Is that better? Okay.
So I'm going
This
to tell
was-
you right now, Kathy, I see
Uh-huh.
things on here that are discrepancy. So I would make sure that whenever you have things that you are giving out, that the details are exact. The first thing that popped out at me, and I didn't look at this in detail, but when I'm looking at buyer notifies escrow company of home insurance company, that doesn't happen. Right? So that goes to the lender. So
You mean the buyer advises escrow company of home insurance company? That one? Oh, okay, right, it's the lender. Right.
yeah, so there's certain little things. So this just kind of reiterates what I'm saying
Yeah.
is that when you are giving paperwork out, make
Be
sure
careful.
that be careful, be aware of what you're actually handing out and everything, because you want to make sure that it's accurate, right? This is great, Kathy, not to discredit it. I think it's fantastic, absolutely. But this just goes to what I'm saying, that just make sure you can customize a one page that has like this in command.
Okay.
Yeah. But just kind of go through them, right? Make it your own. Where's your picture on here, Kathy? Where's your contact information?
I don't have this done yet, so I'm going to,
Ah.
that's a good one. I'm definitely going to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it says life of an escrow. Let's get out of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Life of an escrow. Don't do that or do that.
No, we're
No.
not
Keep it.
talking about
Okay.
escrow. Yeah. So you're giving out escrow information that doesn't pertain to a buyer sometimes.
Okay, got it.
Buyer, seller, all of that. See? So I think this is great, but customize it to yourselves, guys. Brand yourselves. You know, I take things from the title companies and I R&D them. You know me. Absolutely. I am actually. See if I can find.
Okay, I'll stop sharing and see. That way you can have your screen back.
Yay, finally have my screen back.
That was
All
great
right.
though, Kathy. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you. It's, I guess, you know, what helps is getting it simple. And that's what I was taught, is try to get out as much information as you can to convince them that you know what you're doing, that they need you. That
That's
kind
it.
of, but yeah, but I think definitely branding it to fit with me and then making sure that all the I's and are dotted and the T's are crossed and it's correct. But it does definitely need work. Yeah.
So I am going to, if we've got 2 more minutes, give me 2 more seconds. Okay. I know, right? Jeez. What I get for not having my eyeglasses until late at night. I don't know if you guys see me struggling here.
I've only checked my zipper 10 times tonight. So.
All right, guys, I'm going to share this. And Robert Emmerich was very gracious enough to share his buyer presentation, his one sheeter that he uses. And I loved it. I really did. It was literally branded to him, and all he did was take his signature off of his email and put that up there, right? Keeping it simple. The home buying process, finding a realtor, determine affordability, looking for a home, your offer, the contract, inspections. Now it's yours.
Beautiful.
I mean,
Bam.
this was
That's
awesome. And it literally just bullet pointed, but it gave them just enough information to be the expert, but not enough information to get them in. You still need to set the appointment to talk about earnest money deposits, talk about inspections, talk about escrows, talk about lenders and how you do that.
That was
So-
similar to Steve's.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Danny, and one thing I did point out to Robert, because we chatted a little bit about this, he actually had shared this with me, and then I found kind of the format that I went with. If you can pull that back up, if you wouldn't mind. I did notice that on a couple of the areas, the text was the same. So under the contract and inspections, that text is the same.
As yours, you mean?
No, meaning if you read the text,
It says
Oh.
final details are handled. Final details are handled.
final
Yeah.
details are handled is the same in both sections.
I see. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, I see
I
it.
I
Yeah.
proofread papers for my one daughter for
Good
3
catch.
years, so.
We probably should bring proof, have, like when we put it together, have people help us by proofreading.
Well,
know,
that's where your success
never
coaches come into
hurts.
play, guys. That's where
Pardon?
your success coaches come into play.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that's what we are here for, is to help you to get to the next level and to make sure that you are compliant. That is the main thing.
Yes,
Any
yes.
marketing needs to be compliant. Name, DRE, Keller Williams Realty.
Yep.
Especially with signs, open house signs and cards and your.
Well,
all
you
of those
cannot
things.
order, I'll put that out there right now. Do not ever order open house signs or for sale signs without getting it approved by your broker.
On that same note, don't order anything, meaning marketing collateral, pads, pens, any of that stuff. Also, without running it through your PC coach, because there's been a number of times where some agents ordered, 50 whatevers, and then they had to not use them because they were not in compliance. So just run it by someone that can check compliance, just to be sure we're not wasting money and can utilize things that we're ordering.
It's so easy to miss things, it's like it's right in front of me and I'm like, why didn't I see it? But that's
It is.
where another pair of eyes always helps. And that's why I like
Absolutely.
teamwork than just out there by myself.
Yes, yes. Well, I want to thank everybody for their participation this evening. Does anybody have any other questions regarding anything that we went over tonight? Danny, did we share the date in which the buyer presentation is going to take place?
Not yet. I have down on my calendar the 24th here in the Manteca office. It
Gotcha.
will be replacing the Twilight session. But that may change after my conversation with Arthur today. So
I'm sorry.
that's okay. So it will be announced shortly. But yeah.
Okay, perfect. Anybody have any questions?
Arthur,
Not yet.
No,
Oh, go ahead, Karen.
no, I was just saying, no, thank you though. This was a good dialogue.
Awesome. Steve?
So I have a question on tags. I am one that has also not used tags yet, and based upon moving, I am using smart plans. I've got the neighborhood nurture, some testing on the birthday plan that you have communicated over email. That's working, so I will be now utilizing that with all of my contacts. So can I create a tag such as this? If I have a contact where I do not have a birthday, I could create a no birthday tag where I could then search contacts at a later time that have that tag, and work through a list of those to add the birthday to then put it into my smart plan.
Yes, you can. But you could also search that person's first name, last name on Facebook, Instagram, and or LinkedIn, and quite simply find the information within less than 5 minutes.
Do the reconnaissance. Yeah. Okay. Good point.
And isn't there a way that you can search your contacts without having to create a whole new tag?
Yep,
Okay.
you can.
But
There's
like-
lots of wonderful things that I can teach people.
Danny, can you
Yes,
please share the one pager that
No.
you showed
Yes.
earlier?
She has reached her hangry limit.
I know.
Put it
I've
in the
reached my
chat.
hangry limit. I know. I'm getting text. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm like, yeah, you and me both. So,
Join the club.
if you guys, you all have my email, just email it to me, and I'll do it that way. It's a lot easier. So just shoot me an email and say, Danny, send me it. So then that way, I can send it out. Steve, you already have it. But yeah, Robert was kind enough to share his.
Her email is dannyb@kw.com.
Keep it simple, guys.
All right, everyone.
Thanks,
Have a great
Leo.
evening. Thank you for participating.
Thank
Till
you.
next time. Peace
Thank
out.
you.
Guys.
Bye.
Thank you.